why doesn't good things happen to good people in sport? Because sport is so cruel, and Adam is one of the nicest guys, and I know that, you know, that doesn't necessarily automatically give you the medals, but that perseverance, you know, you heard him talk quite openly about his injuries. You know, he moved coaches a couple of years ago to Rana Reda, and he's moved over to the Netherlands, and now since over to Florida. You know, he's making a lot of changes, he's making a lot of commitments in his sport. And he's a very different athlete now. You know, he's been around us since 2012. He was a very young, actually, we got him from football. You know, Chelsea had him on the books early doors, and he decided to come across to athletics. And we've always believed that this guy has something special, and it's only really happened in the relay. He's got a chance to come back and redeem himself, but you know, I still think that global medal will be there somewhere, whether it's in Tokyo next year or in Eugene in 2 years.
Alison Kirbishley, Mike Costello in Doha, thank you very much for joining us. Just to bring you up to speed with everything that's happening this evening at the Etihad, Manchester City goalless against Dinamo Zagreb. In the Championship, Leeds currently top of the pile. They're beating West Brom 1-0. It's 0-0 in the match at the bottom between Stoke and Huddersfield. Regular updates from them. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening across football. Meanwhile, here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, with Spurs trailing by 2-1, time to hand over to your commentary team of Chris Waddle and John Murray.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, Bayern Munich leading by 2-1 after that superb strike from Robert Lewandowski just before the break. We have got a stoppage right from the start here because Tolisso has taken a bang and might need some treatment. Also, Chris Waddle, Bayern Munich have made a change at half-time, and it's obviously an enforced change. David Alaba, the left-back, has had to go off at the break. He's only just come back from injury, and it's created quite a reshuffle because Thiago has come on into midfield. Pavard has switched across to left-back, and Kimmich is now playing at right back, but quite a number of the Bayern squad are very adaptable, Kimmich and Pavard being two of them, so I don't think it'll ruffle them too much. Actually, let me run you through the teams. Tolisso's okay. Tottenham, as they started: Lloris, Aurier, Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Rose, Winks, Sissoko and Ndombele, Dele Alli, Kane and Son. Neuer just running the ball across his penalty area, running away from Harry Kane, falls to ground as he clears it, and Bayern have the ball with Koeman, who loses out to Sissoko, and now here's Danny Rose on the left hand side. Koeman shoulder to shoulder, nudged him over. Free kick to Tottenham on the left. Rose thought about taking it quickly, but I think they're going to, no, he does take it quickly to Sissoko. Tottenham led in this match 1-0 through Son, his goal in the 12th minute, but Kimmich with an excellent goal as well. And then just before the break, Lewandowski scoring for Bayern, who lead here by 2-1. Winks gets the ball back centre field, but is crowded out there and actually dives in as the ball runs away on Lewandowski, who reacts as though he was caught, but referee Turpin had a good view of that, clear view, says no free kick. Bayern supporters don't like it, and the home supporters are booing Lewandowski for his reaction against Harry Winks' challenge. Coutinho, it's on a knife edge now for Tottenham, this group match. 2-1 down here, having drawn 2-2 against Olympiacos, having been ahead in that match in the opening game in the section. Here's Coutinho, inside Ndombele, got the ball as well, which was crucial, and then gives it. And now it's brought forward by Son, plays it out to the right-hand side. Kane peels away. His ball across is hooked away by Thiago, who is arriving back in the penalty area and prevented it from reaching Dele Alli. And now, as the game continues to swing from end to end, this is more of the same sort of fare that we saw in the first half. Coutinho running at the Tottenham defence. Now Lewandowski, his ball into the penalty area, a stretching away by Vertonghen, and it bounces down for Ndombele. And now it's Tottenham who are off, but it's given away by Winks. Coutinho back to Lewandowski. His shot is blocked, and it had to be by Vertonghen. But then the shot from centre field from Tolisso, just outside the D, is pulled wide and behind for a goal kick.
Well,
Chris Waddle.
Where the first 20 minutes started like this, didn't it? And the tempo was high. Tottenham's caught the blocks again, and it's so important, this first 20 minutes definitely for Tottenham. They've got a good tempo going. They're going to tire. Subs are going to be very important, but they've got to get this equaliser and get themselves back into the game.
Chris Waddle, former Tottenham man, former Champions League finalist with Marseille, and Tottenham concede a free kick. The Bayern side then now: Neuer, Kimmich, Zula, Boateng and Pavard, with Thiago and Tolisso in midfield. Gnabry on the left, Coman on the right, and Coutinho behind Lewandowski. Lewandowski now 13 goals this season. What a brilliant start that is to a new campaign. 40 last season, 40 the one before that, 43 the season before that, 42 the season before that, and 25, just 25 in his first season.
His contract's not up, is it?
31 years old. He has actually recently signed a new contract, Lewandowski, to stay a little longer. Here's Winks. Winks now running the ball forward, but played it behind the run of Harry Kane. And Bayern have got possession back inside their own half. They'll be underway in Manchester as well. No goals yet in the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 0, Dinamo Zagreb 0. Coutinho now playing it forward towards Lewandowski, who drifts in from the left-hand side, but showed too much of that to Alderweireld, who was able to get a foot in. And now Sissoko back to Alderweireld.
It's a good tempo about the game, John, but it's very scrappy, isn't it?
Long ball from
what a ball.
Alderweireld. What a pass as well for Dele Alli. Takes a touch, but took it wide, and the shot was straight at Neuer, who was able to take it down easily.
What's the ball, Alderweireld? What is he must hit that? 60 yards at the path of Dele Alli. You've got to say it's a good take, but it's too heavy. It takes a bad angle from to get the volley onto the target. He hits the target, but there's no pace. Very easy for the keeper.
Blackburn are 1-0 up on Nottingham Forest at Ewood Park. Adam Armstrong scoring the opening goal, and Atletico Madrid have taken the lead against Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia. That's 1-0, and Joao Felix, the promising youngster, one of the big signings of the summer, has scored the goal for Atletico Madrid. Juventus winning 1-0 against Bayer Leverkusen in the other match in that group, as we knew at half-time. So, Tottenham here, if you remember last season, they took just the 1 point from their first 3 group matches, yet were able to find a way through all the way to the final. Looking at the possibility here of taking 1 from their first 2 this season. Spurs' next matches are the home and away games against Red Star Belgrade on match day 3 and match day 4, as UEFA like to call them. Here is Rose on the left-hand side. Rose again shoulder to shoulder with Coman. Down goes Rose, no free kick this time, and Coman's going to run it away up the right-hand side. He's being chased by Sissoko, still going, just checks actually, and then has both Dele Alli and Sissoko there, and has to give it back into his own half. Well done, Dele Alli and Sissoko.
Yeah, well, Chase Coleman's gone down now. He's got talent, the lad. If he can put it all together, I know he's still quite young. If he puts it all together in the next few years, he'll be a very good player.
Yeah, back into the French squad now as well, Kingsley Coman. Nottingham Forest have equalised. Joe Lolly has made it. Blackburn 1, Nottingham Forest 1. And Coman climbs to his feet. I don't think there's anything too seriously wrong with him. Niko Kovac there in rather an old style manager's coat is standing on the edge of the technical area. Niko Kovac, his brother Robert, remember them? What good performers, what great performers they were for that excellent Croatia side. Really is a throwback, isn't it? It's almost 90s, early 2000s style manager's coat with the stripes down the sleeves. Here's Zula at the back, passing it forward towards Tolisso. Tolisso, who claimed he was fouled, but I think you're absolutely right, Chris. Dele Alli, there was barely any contact between them when Tolisso gave the ball away to Sissoko, who set up the opening goal. But here come Bayern now, away and into the penalty area, and the ball is drilled in by Gnabry. Brilliant finish, a brilliant run too. Aurier was beaten far too easily on the far side. Gnabry cut inside him, passed him into the box, and the former Arsenal youngster scores here to make it Tottenham 1, Bayern Munich 3.
Well, I've got to say he's been disappointing tonight. Right for me, he's not really did a thing in the game, but obviously his season's been going well over in Germany. He's in the national team, and you can see why when he plays. If he gets his pace and he can get himself going forward, goes away from one challenge. Alright for me, he struggles at right back, I've got to say. And the 2 centre-halves for Tottenham lack so much pace for the modern game. It's a great finish. He hits it hard and low. Lloris, absolutely no chance. Mounting the claim now for Tottenham.
Well, Serge Gnabry there has come back to North London and shown exactly what he is capable of and what a good player he is. 24 years old now, so it's not really a youngster anymore. Remember that spell he had on loan at West Brom as well, when it simply didn't happen for him, but it's happening for him at Bayern Munich. And it's now 3-1 here. Tottenham are trailing to the German champions and league leaders. And the Bayern supporters are twirling their scarves in their thousands on the far side. Elsewhere in the stadium, looking around, Tottenham supporters looking rather downcast and disgruntled. And Bayern now searching for a fourth goal, but in steps Vertonghen. And Tottenham then, Winks loses it. He's dispossessed by Tolisso, and Tolisso sets up Gnabry, and he's scored again! Low shot in off the foot of the far post and into the back of the net. A second goal in the space of 2 minutes for Serge Gnabry, and it's Tottenham 1, Bayern Munich 4. And it's all going wrong for Mauricio Pochettino and Tottenham here tonight.
Most definitely. I've got to say, with 35 minutes of the game, Tottenham are the best side, but you can't keep that tempo up. They've given the ball away. Harry Winks caught in possession, and he's been caught in possession quite a few times tonight. We think he's good at getting that ball off the two centre-halves. He's not turning up, he's not had enough vision around him to know where players are, especially Bayern Munich players. Caught in possession, and it's another good finish. He's hit it left foot, he's just put his head down, put his foot through it. It's gone in off the far post, and that is game over.
Game over. Tottenham are going to have work to do in the final 4 matches in this group just to get through to the knockout stages. And okay, they've got the 2 matches against Red Star Belgrade to come, but going there is not easy. And then the last match in the group in December is away in Munich against Bayern.
Well, it's that one, John. If they play like they did the first 35 minutes and take the chances, they could have been 4-1 up.
So 4-1 to Bayern Munich here. We're going to go to Manchester City in a moment, but Dele Alli taking the ball forward. He claims he was fouled there. So a challenge came in on him from Thiago, but no free kick, and the ball's through for a goal kick to Bayern. So let's get the latest on Manchester City Dinamo Zagreb from Alistair Bruce Ball.
Manchester City continue to be frustrated by Dinamo Zagreb. 10 minutes into the second half, it's 0-0. Pep Guardiola not hanging around. He's made the change already. Raheem Sterling is on. Bernardo Silva has gone off. Sterling immediately on the ball down the left-hand side. Plays it back to Mendy, who's making a burst into the penalty area. Rodri playing a pass across the face of the box. The attack continues. It remains 0-0. Sterling attacks the cross, and the ball is behind for a Manchester City corner. City 0, Dinamo Zagreb 0.
So City being frustrated and Tottenham just plain disappointed here. 4-1 down. Serge Gnabry scoring 2 goals in no time at all, less than 2 minutes to make it 4-1, and Tottenham surely can't come back from this here. In the Championship, 20 minutes to go at Elland Road. Vicky Sparks.
And Leeds still lead 1-0, heading for the top of the Championship as things stand, thanks to Alioski's goal 7 minutes before the break. Took a little nick off Bartley on the way through, but it's been given to Alioski. Good chances for both sides in the second half. Phillips and Pereira going close for West Brom. At the other end for Leeds, Costa has drawn a very good save from Johnston, who made a fabulous double save at the end of the first half as well. Leeds 1, West Brom 0.
Free kick to Tottenham on the right after Thiago dived in rather on Aurier, so free kick in a good position. Paris Saint-Germain have taken the lead in Turkey against Galatasaray. Mauro Icardi has scored. PSG going for 2 wins out of 2 in that group. Earlier in that section it finished Real Madrid 2, Bruges 2, after Bruges led 2-0. Free kick to Tottenham in front of just over 60,000 people inside the stadium here on quite a cool rainy night. Dry at the moment, and here's the delivery from Weah on the right. Neuer comes and gets a good punch on it on the far post. Rose is caught inside the box. It's a penalty. Rose went in for the bouncing ball. Coleman went in with his foot up, caught Rose. It's a penalty to Tottenham.
Yeah, Danny Rose, he's played for it. He knew what was happening. Coleman was focused on the ball. It swings his leg. Danny Rose just gets his foot there before him, and he's took him out. He knew what he was doing. Danny Rose just lifts the ball. They're saying Danny Rose showed his studs on the ball, and we know in Europe that normally is a free kick, but the referee's given the pen. We know he'll be taking this.
Well, he's got the ball and he's waiting, and he's having to wait because the Bayern players are still protesting here. Manuel Neuer has gone to the referee, Clement Turpin, and Neuer's actually pointed to his captain's armband as if to say, look, I can make a point to you about this because I am the captain, but still Thiago is there. They're still waiting for the VAR check. Obviously they will look at this as they do at all of the decisions of this nature. And still, you know, there are Bayern players there near the referee. They've checked it and the penalty is confirmed, so Harry Kane will have to having had to think about it, the Bayern players now have to clear the penalty area, and this will take a little while as well. So it's 4-1. This is a chance to bring it back to 4-2. Kane against Neuer, who's made a string of very good saves tonight. Manuel Neuer. Referee Turpin goes across and has the usual word to him about how he mustn't come off his line, and then he points to some of the Bayern players who are encroaching, and then there's a little bit of shoving going on between Kimmich and Danny Rose, but it is a penalty to Tottenham, and Harry Kane, of course, is going to take it, the Tottenham number 10. This to reduce the deficit to 4-2. Kane waits, still we wait, and then little steps, Kane comes up and he beats Neuer. The Bayern goalkeeper went the right way, down into the bottom corner, but it was hit with such direction and pace by Harry Kane that Neuer couldn't keep it out. Kane scores from the spot, and it is Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 4.
Excellent pen by Harry Kane, bottom corner, side netting. Neuer guessed the right way to his left, but was nowhere near it. Yeah, good pace on it. Game on again. Can Tottenham get this next goal?
Excellent penalty from Kane. Very often he goes up to the left, the goalkeeper's right, as it were. But Neuer guessed the right way, but that was a superb penalty. Pace,
brilliant. As you
corner.
say, he loves it normally to reverse it, doesn't he? He wraps his foot right round it. Goalie's right normally, but a lot of goalies have twigged onto that now.
Well, if you remember, Chris, I spoke to him at Wembley last month after he scored the 2 penalties against Bulgaria, and was talking to him about how much he practices taking penalties, and he said, you know, some afternoons he just takes penalties, and that's where the practice makes perfect. 2 to Tottenham, 4 to Bayern Munich, and after all of that excitement and comebacks in the Champions League last season, we're not going to see another one here, are we?
2 open teams, you've got to say, tonight. Bayern Munich.
Less half an hour to play.
Yeah, Bayern Munich played some lovely football going forward, but they've looked very vulnerable at the back, haven't they? There they go again.
4-2 to Bayern here. Hull City have taken the lead against Sheffield Wednesday. First goal of the night in the Championship, scored by Tom Eaves. And Atletico Madrid now 2-0 up away against Lokomotiv Moscow. Thomas Partey with the second goal for Atletico. Here's Aurier on the right-hand side. Spurs would love another quick one. In it comes. Kane with a header. Glanced it across the penalty area. Comes out to Sissoko. Sissoko back to Rose. Rose swirls it in. It's headed away by Zula, with Kane just behind him on the edge of the 6-yard box. And Bayern, all in red, are able to clear their lines. But Tottenham now pressing. And the Spurs players, the Spurs supporters, everybody thinking back to Amsterdam in the semi-final last season and that brilliant second half comeback. I should have known. I think I wrote them off again tonight when they were 4-1 down.
That's a big ask, I've got to say, because I'm sure Bayern's going to get 1 or 2 more chances as well. But next goal, if Tottenham get this crowd going.
Son on the right-hand side up towards Dele Alli, but across with the challenge slides Zula. And we are about to see Christian Eriksen coming on. That'll be the first change for Tottenham. Kane just outside the area, plays the ball to the space on the right-hand side. Son is there. Son back onto his left foot, crosses, takes a double deflection. Sissoko with a chance just beyond the penalty spot, and he sends it high over the top on the volley. That was a chance.
It's half a chance. It's a half volley at the end of the day. It bounces just in front of him. Very difficult to get your foot above the ball. Look, he's lying back high, very high over the bar into the crowd.
It's Ndombele who's coming off, Chris. Been quite quiet in the second half.
Yes, he has. He ran the show for half an hour in the first half, and he looks a tired man.
So Christian Eriksen is now joining the action. Eriksen, who I remember being so important, as were several Tottenham players in that comeback, that second half comeback in Amsterdam, as was Dele Alli, Eriksen. In fact, Danny Rose is picked up for a foul and it's a free kick. So let me run you through the latest scores in the Championship. Blackburn 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Hull City winning 1-0 against Sheffield Wednesday, still Leeds 1, West Brom 0, Middlesbrough 1, Preston 1 remains the score. At the Riverside, it is Wigan 1, Birmingham 0. Anthony Pilkington's just given Wigan the lead. Fulham still 3-0 up on 10-man Reading at the Madejski Stadium, and it's still Stoke City 0, Huddersfield Town 0. 4-2 to Bayern Munich. Go back to Manchester City presently, but Gnabry, who's on a hat-trick here, plays the ball up through the middle for the run of Tolisso, but excellent challenge. However, Lewandowski's won it back. Lewandowski now into the penalty area. Brilliant work, pulls it back across. Gnabry's in there, but so are two Tottenham defenders, and the ball ricochets away wide of goal, and Lloris can run across and take possession. Superb again from Lewandowski in the middle of all that. Oh, a stretching header from Zula, and the ball bounces out of play off Dele Alli for a throw-in to Bayern. No, he didn't get a touch. There's a throw to Tottenham. Ali takes the throw. There are two balls on the pitch at the moment. Sissoko, though, carries on, gives it to Eriksen. Curling shot from Eriksen! And Neuer's able to leap up, get a hand to it and push it over the bar.
I give Tottenham credit. They're rolling their sleeves up and having a go. Crowd's getting behind him. That was a good effort by Eriksen. He could have done maybe 3 or 4 yards to the left of Neuer, but it's a good save with his right hand.
Come on, you Spurs. Again, the mood has changed inside the stadium. It's been quite a group match, this. Here's the corner, an out swinger which is firmly headed away by Zula, comes out to Winks. He plays it back to Eriksen, who's just taken the corner. Ball played back in high for Tottenham. Dele Alli on the chase, headed away by Zula, comes out to Alderweireld, and Alderweireld has shoved over Coman, and it's a free kick. And straight to Manchester, because Alistair Bruce Ball.
Super sub Raheem Sterling off the bench to give Manchester City the lead. The goal has been coming for a long time. Lovely run by Riyad Mahrez down the left-hand side. Low ball, cut across the face of goal, and Sterling pounced, edge of the 6-yard box, just in front of the defender, gets a foot on it, and into the back of the net. Manchester City leads Zagreb 1-0.
So Manchester City 1-0 up and heading to 6 points out of 6. Here Tottenham 4-2 down, heading to 1 point out of 6. And Bayern coming forward, Coutinho with a shot. It's deflected away into the full-back position on the far side. Gnabry turns, gives it back to Pavard, and now square to Thiago Alcantara flicks the ball to the right-hand side to Kimmich, right back in the second half after the withdrawal of Alaba. And Kimmich actually is going to go all the way back to goalkeeper Neuer inside his own territory. Still Red Star 1, Olympiacos 1 in this group, but Olympiacos are down to 10 men in that match in Belgrade, and Juventus now 2-0 up on Bayer Leverkusen. Tottenham with Dele Alli on the right-hand side. Sissoko. And now Eriksen. Eriksen's pass in field, though, is intercepted, deflected, and Coutinho is able to draw the challenge from Winks and give it now to Pavard, who drives over the halfway line and uses Gnabry. Gnabry's return pass is just about cut out by Aurier, and Tottenham can clear, but straight into the midriff of Thiago, and Thiago is able to bring it forward again for Bayern. Goes around Sissoko, plays it square to Kimmich, and now on the right-hand side, Coman cuts back. Oh, Rose dived in, looked as though he caught Coman. Coman went down as if he'd been touched, and referee Turpin, who wasn't that close to the incident, clearly had a view of that and said absolutely no penalty.
Well, he's got a book him then. Why has he felt the floor then if he hasn't touched him? It'd be interesting if he's getting it in his ear. Look, the
ball's out of play,
yeah.
And referee Turpin is now being
the replay.
Spoken to. We're seeing the replay now of Rose, who slid in.
I don't think he played him. No, he's trying to win the pen. Look.
Ooh, well, there is a little bit of contact there.
A little bit.
But the referee,
he's waved it bye-bye.
Yes, I mean, well, That's debatable, isn't it? So it is still Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 4. VAR looked at it and backed referee Turpin's decision. And I see that Perisic is going to come on very shortly. I know you're a big fan, Chris, of the Croatian winger who is on loan this season with Bayern from Inter, as Bayern with Boateng play the ball and dice with danger. But Pavard now to Coutinho, still inside his own half, but crosses the halfway line. And then Eriksson puts in the challenge and the ball bounces out of play on the far side. Fulham are now 4-0 up at Reading, who did have Swift sent off after 20 minutes. Tom Kearney scored his second goal of the night. So Reading 0, Fulham 4. Still Leeds 1, West Brom 0. 20 minutes to play here, still plenty of time. And Bayern with this 4-2 lead that was a 4-1 lead until Harry Kane scored from the penalty spot, his 7th goal of the season, 3 of them penalties, 7 goals for Spurs, that is. Now Gnabry on the left-hand side, Gnabry away very easily from Aurier, who went to ground, and then the cross to the near post. Koeman went for it but couldn't make any contact. Dele Alli, Tottenham are passing it out from the back. Rose up towards Kane, who was challenged from behind by Zula and flung himself to the ground. Double change for Bayern, their second and third substitutions of the night. Koeman is being withdrawn and Perisic is coming on for him. And Javi Martinez, the experienced, centre-back, midfielder, Spanish international.
And Dele Alli's come off.
And Ali is being replaced by one of the other heroes of Amsterdam, the hat-trick man Lucas Moura is coming on now. And the other Bayern change is going to see Boateng come off because he's taken a knock and actually he's having to be helped from the field, Jerome Boateng. So Javi Martinez, we'll have to wait and see who's going to take over in central defence, because there are
Martinez can play there.
Yeah, there are a number of contenders.
He'll just go into centre half.
Perisic, which is that he's going to play on the right-hand side. Gnabry will stay on
substitution for Bayern Munich, replacing number
the left.
17, Jerome Boateng, number 8, Javi Martinez.
So 4-2 it is, and Niko Kovac has now made all 3 of his permitted changes. Dele Alli off. How do you feel he's done tonight, Chris? Dele Alli?
I thought first half he looked obviously expect him to have a lot of energy. He's not played for a while, and him, Son and Kane looked very dangerous the first 35 minutes, and then he's run out of steam.
Sissoko stretching, but the ball falls in any case, even though he got a touch to Lewandowski, who actually just plays it back towards the halfway line. So Manchester City are leading 1-0 against Dinamo Zagreb. That second half goal from Raheem Sterling. The commentary, by the way, and 5 Live final score is available on the Red Button, the BBC iPlayer and the BBC Sport app this evening. You can continue listening to our commentary and coverage with all of the graphics and such like. Kimmich has the ball, playing it in field towards Thiago. Thiago now into the centre circle, and then worked to the left by Tolisso. Gnabry is there, and we'll play it back to Pavard. And Bayern go back into their own half. So let's go back to Manchester and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Into the last 20 minutes, Raheem Sterling's goal means Manchester City lead Dinamo Zagreb by 1-0. Zagreb barely out of their half in this half. I'm sure City are going to win the game. Pep Guardiola still getting head up though. Raheem Sterling, he felt, should have had a free kick, a challenge just outside the penalty area. Heated conversation with the 4th official followed. The referee came over and booked Guardiola. Manchester City 1, Dinamo Zagreb 0.
Shot from Coutinho here from just outside the D, but dragged it well wide. It remains Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 4. If you didn't hear earlier, in Qatar, Adam Jamili finished 4th in the 200 metres final. Dina Asher-Smith is through to tomorrow night's women's final. We'll have commentary on that. Tomorrow morning, Sports Extra live from Japan. France, USA from 8:45. New Zealand, Canada from 11:15. And then all tomorrow night's football covered in 5 Live Sport, and the commentary will come from Anfield, the Liverpool Red Bull Salzburg game. But it's been entertaining this tonight here, Chris. 4-2 to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, very good game. Tottenham give everything they had for 35 minutes, and maybe it's the first 15 minutes of the second half as well, but You know, the game's about 90 minutes, and as Tottenham's proved this season, they can't do it for 90 minutes. They have spells in games where they do look very, very good, but then they have 10 or 15 minutes where they come right off the pace and very easy to play against.
So how concerned should Tottenham
I think the
supporters
concern is the back four for me. I think midfield's not bad. I think it's good enough. I think we'll score goals. I just don't think the back four's the level you need to win a lot of football matches. They're conceding goals every game, John. They're not. When was it? They don't get clean sheets.
Tried and trusted performers in there. Neuer just clearing under pressure from Lucas Moura. Rose loses out on the halfway line, and Bayern, and then Lewandowski has the ball taken off him by Harry Winks. Harry Winks was caught in possession for the fourth goal. Aurier was caught out, beaten too easily by Gnabry for Bayern Munich's third goal. And Alderweireld passing the ball away from the back. And Sissoko receives it from Aurier and plays it across the defence to Harry Winks. They've had precisely 2 clean sheets this season, Chris, Tottenham, in all competitions. Rose is blocked by the newly arrived Perisic, so it's a free kick 10 yards inside Bayern Munich territory. One in the 4-0 win here against Crystal Palace in the Premier League, and the other one on this night last week when they lost on penalties to Colchester in the Carabao Cup. Here's Eriksen in the centre circle. Sissoko. Crowd trying to lift the team for the final 15 minutes, and we're into that final 15 minutes now. 4-2 to Bayern. Really, those 2 goals in less than 2 minutes from Serge Gnabry appeared to have taken the game away from Tottenham. But Harry Kane's penalty means there is a glimmer. Lucas Moura trying to take the ball on towards the dead ball line, but it's shielded from him there, and it's cleared away by Thiago. Tottenham again, Alderweireld to the right-hand side, and then in comes Aurier. Bayern are able to clear it. It's hoisted forward again by Alderweireld for Lucas Moura, who's challenged by Javi Martinez. No free kick, got a clean touch on the ball. Javi Martinez is playing in central defence incidentally alongside Zula, and now Son. He's been quiet in the second half too, but he turns away now, and Son takes it up towards the edge of the area, plays it square. Eriksen with a shot in the D, but he's lifted it high over the bar.
Well, he should have rolled it out, Aurier, and it's very easy. I don't know if he screamed for it. He did. He sort of shouted at Eriksen afterwards. He could have just rolled it on again. Aurier had time to control it and have a strike, but Eriksen's took it early, high over the bar. But Bayern's just managing the game very, very well, aren't they? They just slow the game down, keep possession, make Tottenham chase.
And you'd expect them to do exactly that. Kimmich chips the ball in field towards Perisic, and now it's played through but overhit through for the run of Gnabry from Philippe Coutinho, who's furious with himself for that, the little Brazilian international.
We saw glimpses of Coutinho, but since his Liverpool days I don't think we've saw in a Barcelona shirt and in a Bayern shirt yet. You know how good he was at Liverpool.
Here is Son on the left-hand side. Yeah, don't forget, Liverpool sold him for, well, up to £142 million. Here's Aurier now on the right-hand side. Aurier, Eriksen, certainly not gung-ho. Tottenham, this is a measured approach. Back it goes to Vertonghen. Danny Rose. Tottenham switching it towards the left-hand side. Lucas Moura, but Zula puts in the challenge, and Spurs have lost possession. And then here is Coutinho, turns and gives it to Gnabry. Gnabry now running at the Tottenham defence, plays it to Coutinho. In steps Vertonghen, and now the crowd roaring on Sissoko. Sissoko, little ball infield towards Eriksen. Eriksen now looking at the options. He's got Son here on the left-hand side as Tottenham play from right to left. 4-2 Bayern Munich lead. Son back towards Rose. Rose claims he was blocked by Perisic, but Son's in possession. Son takes it on, beats his man back onto his right foot, but and then gets it all wrong as he tried to flick it back. He was in 2 minds there and actually sliced it straight out of play for a throw.
You don't want to see that again on the video, will you? Right, it was great play to get the ball. Could he have not just stuck it in when he checked back onto his right foot?
Full-time whistles will be going presently in the matches in the Championship. We've got just over 10 minutes to play here. Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 4. And Bayern are breaking away up the left-hand side. Gnabry receives it from Pavard. Lewandowski is available in the middle, but they check back. And they're going to keep possession here. This is the game management Chris Waddle was just talking about. Through the middle it goes to Perisic. Perisic, remember him scoring against England in that World Cup semi-final, and indeed in the final against Hugo Lloris. Now Coutinho flicks it towards the left-hand side. Pavard is there. Now Gnabry with that white bandage on his left hand. Infield to Coutinho. And Bayern frustrating Tottenham here, just knocking the ball around between the red shirts inside Tottenham territory. Coutinho's little ball hooked away by Winks. Moura challenges for it against Tolisso, but it bounces down again and is lifted forward, but Lloris will come and claim that as it bounces into the penalty area ahead of Perisic.
Yeah, it's good play by Bayern Munich, isn't it? Took at least 2-3 minutes off the clock.
Lamela is coming on. Just over 10 minutes to play. Winks carries the ball down the left-hand side. Winks, little ball now through to Lucas Moura. Back to Winks again. Harry Kane in the box, but he's the only Tottenham player in the box. Sissoko's got it on the left-hand side. Now Winks. Sissoko again. This time a sliding challenge from Zula, and it's out for a throw. And before that throw is taken, we'll see the final Tottenham change. And it is Harry Winks who makes way.
Substitution for Spurs, replacing number 8, Harry Winks.
And on comes Lamela. So Lamela races on and takes up a central position for the time being. We'll see where he's going to slot in, but Rose to take the throw. So Tottenham now have plenty of options on the pitch. Moura's on there, and Eriksen, and Lamela, and Kane, and Son. Here is Lamela with his first touch of the match. We're now into the last 10 minutes here. BBC Radio 5 live from Tottenham Stadium in this second group match for Spurs, who are 4-2 down. Eriksen steps in. Eriksen's got it on the right-hand side. Slips it infield to Lamela. Now to the right-hand side. Aurier's ball across. Couldn't beat the first defender. Thiago is there, positioned inside the penalty area, and flicks it away.
That was a good game for Harry Winks to play in, though. That you learn a lot, especially international level as well. You know, getting the ball, receiving the ball in them areas up to centre halves. Get used to it. That's why he'll be in the England team for, to start attacks and get on the ball in a deep position if he's going to play. So he got caught a few times tonight, but hopefully he'll learn from it.
Yeah, we've seen him have much better games in that position than he did tonight. But against Bayern Munich, they have some wily performers. 4-2 Bayern Munich lead here in North London. We're going to go to West Yorkshire because the final whistle's gone with you, Vicky Sparks.
And Leeds have leapfrogged West Brom at the top of the Championship, seeing out a harem-scarum ending to win 1-0 thanks to Alioski's goal just before the break. Took a touch off Bartley on the way through. West Brom's first defeat of the season. They slipped to second. Leeds top of the Championship. Full-time 1-0 winners over West Brom.
Other full-time whistles going. Wigan have beaten Birmingham City by 1-0, only Wigan's third win of the season. And Hull City have beaten Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0, and that is now 5 matches unbeaten for Hull City. Ball bounces back to the edge of the Bayern penalty area, and the Bavarians are in good voice over there. Javi Martinez gets it back, and this is calm, controlled play from the Bundesliga champions, and that is a pass downfield from Thiago for Gnabry, who's in for his hat-trick and scores, slips it superbly past Lloris. What a return to North London for Serge Gnabry. This is a hat-trick for him, the former Arsenal youngster, and it's now Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 5, and that is it.
Well, Thiago, I've always been a big fan of him. Great player, boss. I thought, I was surprised to let him go to Bayern a few years ago, and what a pass that was. Obviously, you know, he's got the pace against the two centre halves of Tottenham who we've talked about, who play very high, lack pace, but he just makes a run from the left wing inside behind Aurier again, and he's got no chance of catching him. Nobody's going to catch him, and what a good finish, bottom corner. You know, if you actually analyse his game tonight, he's not really done a great deal in the game. But people are going to say, yeah, but he's put the ball in net 3 times, and he has.
He has Serge Gnabry. He'll be getting the match ball. He'll be getting all of the plaudits, I'm sure, from the German media, and that will be sweet for him. Didn't make it at Arsenal, didn't make it at West Brom on loan, but eventually found his way to Werder Bremen, and things began to take off from there. Signed by Bayern Munich and sent on loan to Hoffenheim as well, but now making good strides. As Chris Waddle has said, he's made a brilliant start to his German international career as well, goal-scoring start, and here he is with a hat-trick. Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 5, and what a result that is.
It's a Bayern song.
It's coming home. Yeah, they like that. I've heard that one from them before when they've taught the odd footballing lesson. Actually, if you remember, Chris, you know, all of those times that Bayern would crack in 5 goals a match against Arsenal.
Yeah.
They did that at the Emirates Stadium, I remember, in late Wenger. That was more thrilling football, but this has been controlled and clinical. And against last season's finalists, this is quite a scoreline.
I think they're rebuilding. Simple as. You have to rebuild. You can't rely on Robin and Ribery. They're long time, played basically every game. They've got older. They've had to start developing, finding new players to come into this team and excite and play the way Bayern Munich play. So it's not an old team. This, and they'll be thinking they can do well in the Champions League. They'll think they've got a fair chance of getting.
It's finished Blackburn 1, Nottingham Forest 1 at Ewood Park. As you know, Leeds have won 1-0 against West Brom. Yeah, not only Ribery and Robin have left now, Hummels left this summer as well.
Muller can't get the team now.
No, Thomas Muller, whose his career seems to be winding down. Rafinha moved on. Young Renato Sanchez didn't really make it, and James Rodriguez as well.
Yeah, there's another one.
So, that's been quite a turnaround for Bayern Munich, but they're top of the league. They've lost only once this season, and that was the German Super Cup. They always have grand designs on the Champions League. Last season was the first time in 8 seasons that they failed to reach the quarter-finals. Remember them losing 3 semi-finals in a row under Pep Guardiola. But here, this is quite a statement. 5-2 against Tottenham. And now Coutinho. And it could be more. It's Lewandowski. It's 6. Lewandowski scored his second of the night. And that was so easy. Bayern just walked through the Tottenham defence. They were static. They were like statues. And in the end, it fell to the right instep of Robert Lewandowski, who just steered it across Lloris into the back of the net. And we now have a remarkable scoreline of Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 6.
I've got to say, earlier on, the weakness of Tottenham's team for me is the back four, and it showed again there. There's no pace at this level of football, and even in the Premier League, you've got to have mobility and pace unless you play deep and bring teams on you. Tottenham play high. The 2 centre-halves basically cannot play that system now, and I've got to say, Lewandowski, the flick by Coutinho's class, but the finish is absolutely brilliant. People see this goal, the 6th, they'll think, it's not, it's a tap-in. That is a controlled side foot finish into the bottom corner of the goal. Lloris, no chance.
14 goals for Bayern Munich this season for Robert Lewandowski in 10 appearances. 31 years old, and he's not finished yet by any means. And here is Gnabry. He's looking for a 4th. He shoots. He scores. The roof is falling in on Tottenham here. It's 7-2 to Bayern Munich, and Gnabry scored 4 of them. This is extraordinary. Last season's Champions League finalists are being absolutely humbled by Bayern Munich here on their own ground.
Well, we always said before the game, Tottenham haven't looked great this season at all. Confidence has been a big problem. System, too many changes on the players on the pitch. It's just not happened for them this season, and again, they've been absolutely annihilated. Apart from that first 25-30 minutes, I thought they played very well. Apart from that, Bayern Munich have just ran this football match, and what another great finish, by the way, into the side net yet again. Lloris, absolutely no chance. Nobody gets close to them. The back four have lost all confidence. No pace about them. Can't get close to anybody.
What a scoreline this is. Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 7. They've scored 5 goals in the second half, Bayern Munich, and Tottenham's defence has just been non-existent at times. There has been a late goal in the Stoke City Huddersfield match. Robin Cowan.
A very significant goal. It's Stoke City 0, Huddersfield 1. It's scored by Leandro Bacuna on as a substitute. He's lashed it in at the near post past Adam Federici. Could this be the final stand for Stoke City boss Nathan Jones? Less than 6 minutes left here. It's Stoke 0, Huddersfield 1.
And possibly Huddersfield's first win of the season in all competitions. It has finished Middlesbrough 1, Preston 1. Juventus now 3-0 up on Bayer Leverkusen. Cristiano Ronaldo with yet another goal in the Champions League. And Red Star Belgrade 2-1 up on Olympiacos now in this group. Olympiacos down to 10 men. Let's get back to Manchester. A narrow lead for City. Last we heard from Alistair Bruce Ball.
Incredibly one-sided game. Remarkably, Manchester City only lead it 1-0. Sterling off the bench to score the goal in the second half. Pep Guardiola's been apoplectic with the refereeing performance. He's been booked. Somehow VAR didn't give Sergio Aguero a penalty when he was clearly tripped. And Phil Foden's getting a game. He's coming on in the 90th minute. Manchester City 1, Dinamo Zagreb 0.
Well, we are into added time here. 2 minutes of added time with a scoreline of Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 7.
And it's an empty ground now.
Well, the Tottenham sections.
I bet your teams are dreading when I turn up at the next match. I had Man City 8-0 and I've had 9 goals the other night. So look out to where I turn up next.
Landslide waddle.
2 minutes added time.
So what an inquest there'll be after this.
Well,
I mean, you're saying that, Chris. What are you suggesting that
the back four's not good enough?
Are you suggesting 3 central defenders
central,
has to be the way to go?
David Sanchez, he's got pace. He's a bit erratic. And look, ball over the top. Look, ball over the top. They're in.
Lewandowski, he's on a hat-trick as well. Gnabry scored 4, Lewandowski scored 2. A bit of showboating from Lewandowski.
Get kicked.
Passing the ball from one
There you
foot to
go.
the other, and he's shoved over by Vertonghen, who didn't like that one bit. Lewandowski stood off Vertonghen, was juggling the ball from foot to foot, stepped back. Vertonghen walks past him, looks over his shoulder, turns round, tells Lewandowski exactly what he thinks of him, and it's a free kick to Bayern on the right.
The problem is, Vertonghen's a very good player. They're very good. Listen, they are good players. The Belgian internationals, and Belgium a great team. But the system, they play too high. They've got no pace, either one of them. Not blistering pace. If you play very high lane against pace, as we've saw tonight, it's one simple ball over the top takes the whole lot out of the game.
Reading have got a goal back, but Fulham lead 4-1 at Reading. Mete with the Reading goal. Free kick then. We're in the 2nd minute of added time. Might be time for Bayern Munich to get an 8th, a la Manchester City.
Left footed near post.
It's going to be taken either by Kimmich or by Perisic. Perisic plays it across, and it's curled in onto the roof of the net by Tolisso from 25 yards, and it's a goal kick to Tottenham. And there's the final whistle. There is the final whistle, and Mauricio Pochettino, how on earth he must be feeling down there. He turns, he actually clasps hands with the Bayern coach Niko Kovac. What a great night for Bayern Munich, but what a scoreline for the Champions League finalists at the end of last season, Tottenham. This is embarrassing, humiliating. It's Tottenham 2, Bayern Munich 7, Chris Waddle.
Well, I've got to say, Tottenham for the first 25 minutes, I thought 30 minutes looked a good side, pressing, getting the ball off Bayern Munich, creating a lot of chances. Didn't take them, and at this level of football you've got to. Once their legs started to tire, Bayern Munich managed the game and went on to win, and to be honest, it was a matter of how many they're going to get second half.
Tottenham actually took the lead in this match. Son scored in the 12th minute, but Kimmich and Lewandowski turned it around. It was 2-1 to Bayern at half-time, and that was soon 4-1 in the second half when Gnabry scored his first 2 goals. Harry Kane did get one back with a penalty. There was a little bit of a glimmer for a time, but then Bayern just ran away with it in the later stages. Gnabry ended up with 4 goals, Lewandowski 2, Kimmich the other, and we have a final scoreline. You almost have to look at it